Division, we did tell you before we went on that break that, of course, on the program this morning, another serious conversation we hope to have. And we did say that our guest, of course, in the studio this morning, it has a way of, just putting these things in the perspective. And again, questions will be raised today, whether or not all of the issues we've been talking about are actually being heard by the right authorities, and if things, that have been raised are put into proper perspective to have, so that we stop having a reoccurrence of these issues, because by now we should, at least at the moment, not be recording schools abduction with all the security issues, with all the security architecture that we seem to be putting in place. But what are the lapses? What should communities begin to do? What should the security agencies intensify on? Perhaps, again, this is why we're having this conversation this morning. And joining us this morning is a global security analyst, High Chief Darlington Umoru. High Chief, thank you for being here this morning.
My pleasure. My second home. Anytime I'm here, I feel so much at home. You understand?
I don't.
Okay. Good morning, Lagosians, and good morning, Nigerians,
Right,
irrespective of where you're watching us from.
Yeah, let's start this way. Judging from what happened last weekend, that we're still trying to get over this morning, and from what the defense headquarters said yesterday, dispelling rumors that there could possibly be a terrorist base or a banditry base in the southwest. So in your own perspective, do you think that from insinuations that people are beginning to raise the fears that is looking like there could be a base in the southwest, and the defense headquarters dispelling that rumor, could there be an iota of truth in that?
The Southwesterners are now experiencing activities of bandits for the first time. Agreed?
Agreed.
If we agree that this is what happened in Oyo is not about the first of its kind, then I do not understand the position of DHQ. DHQ has said that bandits are not resident in the Southwest. Except for those of them who want to scamper in, do what they want to do, and run back, perhaps to the North Central, where the Southwest somewhat shares border with. You are aware that Oyo State shares, particularly the old Oyo, shares border with Kwara State, and then Kwara State shares border with Niger State. And if you look at it from the real sense of it, without pretense, and you needed to tell the truth. This incident is not even the first to take place in Oyo State.
Right.
And so if we have this, the noise about all of this and the shout, it's about what the people are feeling, the fear that is gripping the Southwest. And the DHQ is trying to exonerate the Southwest from all that has been affecting the nation. But except for the South-South, the Southeast, we have experiences. The South-South, we've seen series of these activities of banditry or terrorism over time. And so for me, DHQ is supposed to manage what happens across the nation,
Right.
not a zone. If you are exonerating what is happening in a particular zone for obvious reasons that I don't want to talk about, then there's a problem. The question you want to ask yourself at this point in time is a zone specifically carved out to be washed over by the DHQ?
Okay.
What about other zones? We have 6 geopolitical zones
in the country,
in Nigeria. And you're talking about just one zone because things are happening or extending to that zone beyond expectation. I read some of the things they said this morning, and a lot of thoughts were tumbling my stomach, but I couldn't really place it. I know if you ask me, for instance, I know that if you look at the security architecture, particularly when they meet at the clearinghouse, each security agency is told what they're expected to do. Each agency tells what they have done, right? But I observe specifically that Adeniyi is the CGC of Customs, right? He has been able to put some persons in place in the custom arrangement to stop the trafficking of certain things. For instance, the small arms and light weapons.
Okay.
2, is it sativa, canaiva or something, the one you loosely would refer to as a drug, right. or Indian hemp in the common parlance. Now, if you look at reports that emanate from all the zones, you find out that the Southwest has reported consistently and continuously, almost all the time, seizures of small arms and light weapons, seizures of drugs, seizures of mercuries, and these seizures, they come between December and now. The gravity in which these seizures come has been very high. And all of this, in most times, you get them from the Southwest. Now, we also have borders in Cameroon, Cameroon in the south-south, Cameroon on the other side, Chad on one side. Now, what have we gotten in terms of reports from those other sides?
Okay.
Now, the Southwest has been up and doing. The Southwest is part of one of the geopolitical zones amongst the 6 that will largely talk about a world that has the sea. Lagos, for instance, has the sea. You have Tinkan Island, you have Apapa, and then they also have land borders. You have the ones with Benin Republic, cutting across several areas. And all of them, in matter of weeks, months, there are huge seizures
coming from
of all these drugs. And for the terrorists to survive,
they need those things.
They need drugs. And I have said here repeatedly that the team that deals on small arms and light weapons also deals on drugs. And so the CG has been particular and specific in choosing those who man the borders in the south-south, because the heat comes from this way. Now, if you look at what is happening in the south-south now, you want to talk about the links. Most of these things come from outside the country, the small arms and light weapons, and then the drugs. And so there's huge concern about what goes on in the south-south as we speak now. And so I think, I do not know because I've not discussed with the CG. The customs has the responsibility of stopping these things from entering the country amongst the services. And so if that is correct, it meant that if you look at research and history of the movement of small arms and light weapons and drugs, Lagos State has had, Ogun has had a chunk coming in through those two places, particularly the land borders. But today, if you look at the Tinkan Island, almost on a monthly basis, they report seizures of drugs. And they come in quantum. Not in what you and I, perhaps, no, not me now, maybe you can take. I don't know if you understood that. I know Yabeji wouldn't take that.
So who would take it?
The people who need it are the ones who take it.
Chief Darlington, from those information that you provided now, I'm sure government and security agencies must have also had that information prior to what happened in Oyo State. So what is the essence of security architecture information if government is not proactive enough to nip some of these things in the board? And
Proactive, you said?
Yes, proactive, instead of being reactive.
Yes. No, when you say proactive, you say enough.
Yes.
The government is not being proactive enough. Before you continue,
okay,
I'm sorry, because your choice of words is what I'm following, not just the question. Now, if government is not being proactive enough, that is what the common man on the street will tell you. They want to know how effective is the proactiveness of the government has been on them. I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
are.
Now, if that is the case, I just talked about the role of the CG. I talked about the role of customs and what they have been doing.
yeah.
You know, in Nepal, and I talked about what the DHQ has said, and I looked at the implication of what they have said. So, from what the DHQ has said now, government, yes, is proactive, but is government only proactive to a section of the country? I don't know if you are following.
I am.
Now, if we want to look at it critically, perhaps some persons are having sleepless nights. Soldiers are being gunned down on daily basis. I was reading yesterday the story of a young boy, a young soldier who was taken out. He finished from the NDA perhaps last year.
Okay, for me, that incident of your state, we saw, according to those that were there, or those that saw those terrorists, we had men on motorcycles traveling for minutes, and yet there was nothing reactionary on the side of security agents to at least do something before those actions were taken.
Sorry, before you answer that question,
or probably
I'd
members
like
of that community should have escalate what they saw, seeing men on bikes with firearms, and of course they went into those schools, kidnapped those children, and they went away unchecked.
Sorry, but
particularly when the DHQ has said.
Let me just quickly add here, the report also said they wore army uniforms in that particular attack. This was said to have been confirmed by an eyewitness whose children and whose grandchildren were also kidnapped in that attack. So when people come into your community wearing the uniform of the army, who should actually be protecting you, what does this really say?
There's a difference. What they have said is correct, and what you have said is correct, but there's a difference. I think the problem we're having here is information. Passing out the right information to the people. The military, for instance, will not go to a community, whether to protect them or for whatever reasons, on bike.
Yeah.
Now, the firearms carried by bandits are particularly not about the same firearms you will find in the hands of the military. The movement and mode of dressing, even when they wear, you see, one of the deceiving things the terrorists will want to do is to put on the regalia of the military or any of the agency in the services.
Right.
You have police uniforms, you have customs, you have immigration, you have army, and the rest of them. But something is paramount. In most times when those people move, the bandits, you will not find vehicles colored in the military color, moving with them. 2, the team will be more when they are moving as bandits. 3, the mode at which they rode those bikes,
motorcycles, yes.
It's not the same thing that the military will do. And so, one, the people are to be blamed. The people are to be blamed because virtually every human being in Nigeria now, as even some underage, carry telephones.
Yeah.
Now, even the children in those schools, many of them have telephones in their bags, pending on the rules of the school.
But these are primary
teachers.
school, nursery and primary school children.
Yes. Most children in primary schools have telephones. Now,
Okay.
If I ask some of us here about our homes, we would implicate ourselves on this line. Now, that's one. Two, the people who saw these persons
when they were coming into the town,
when they were entering, particularly if you have to hinge this on what DHQ have said, needed to have raised alarm when they were passing. They did not visit one school.
Yeah.
From reports.
they visited 3.
I have not been there, but they visited 3. Now, if they had raised alarm, you do not expect the Nigerian military to be everywhere.
True.
But one thing this government has failed doing is to protect schools.
What about the Safe School Initiative?
Exactly, even though we have the Safe School Initiative.
Has it worked?
We're asking you,
If
you
it
are
has
the
worked,
security expert.
what happened in your state wouldn't have happened.
Okay, you are asking me.
Because you are the security.
Because I'm a security expert.
Right.
It's all right. I will not face you. We'll do what we are expected to do today. Madam, let's not pretend. Let's not pretend. We have seen that, I was on a television station yesterday. We have seen that the Safe School Initiative has only existed in our mouths.
Okay.
How many of the schools in Nigeria are you saying if the government of the day knows that votes could be casted, even in remote areas, and they use youth corps members, and they have INEC members who cover those areas, are the schools more than the number of votes we will cast? The answer is no. If the Safe School Initiative should work, are you saying government does not know exactly what to do?
Right.
Are you saying government cannot station security men in all of these schools? Are you saying government cannot recruit men, security men, who do not need to be identified, who will pass on information before they happen? Proactiveness.
Okay. Hi, Chief. I'm still going to come back to the issue of course, securing our schools, using these 3 schools that were visited as case studies here. Let's for a moment just leave the schools, Safe Schools Initiative, and look at the schools themselves. When things like this happen.
But first, let's tell the people and the government of the day that the Safe School Initiative has failed.
No, absolutely, which you've done. I'm just saying here now that, so sometimes when we wait on the federal or the state government to do certain things and they failed, which they have in many cases, like you've also rightly pointed out here, what are some of the things that locals can also do to ensure that at least children, in this case, these schools were schools, nursery and primary school. Reports had it that 2-year-old children, under 2-year-old children, are currently in captivity. Children who are even younger. We saw a video of a teacher who had a baby strapped on her back. And, you know, the exact way you're feeling right now was how I felt this morning when we're talking about this thing. And I said, you know what? We cannot continue to go on this way. So if we need to now, as a people, as a community, as locals, begin to take care of these children ourselves, what are the common things, what are the basic things that we can start doing, again, to protect ourselves?
What are the things we need to do to protect ourselves? First, you cannot bear weapons.
But the local vigilante can't they?
So what has the local vigilante done for us now?
Maybe they're not empowered enough.
And I guess your question was basically on the people.
Right.
And not the local vigilante.
But they are part of the communities, aren't they? And they're part of the people.
They are part of the security arrangement and not part of you and I. We have had situations in the... I feel bad, and I feel bad. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I saw the video of the teacher being slaughtered. You don't want to talk about it.
I don't even want... I couldn't even
You don't want to
look at
talk
that.
about it. I feel terrible, you know, when I see the way we are going, those of us in the Southwest thought it was Uhuru for us. But we are beginning to see that it's not actually Uhuru. And the most painful thing is for Defense Headquarters to tell us what they have told us. How do you want the other geopolitical zones to feel? How do you want the South, sorry, not the South, the Northwest people to feel? How do you want people in the Northeast to feel? A man and a woman heavily pregnant with twins, was shot and gunned down with his husband in front of their home in Plateau State. Now, hearing this, how do you want them to feel? It's unfortunate. Okay. It's unfortunate. And at this point in time, the only people that have chosen to peripherally join the struggle with Nigeria is America. What are those countries
on the continent join? Okay.
Okay. Chief Darlington, it has happened, and we have been hearing government.
Recently, we were in Republic of Benin to help the government with our soldiers to come back, to recover the country from
a military coup.
Troops. How many times has Republic of Benin come to our aid? How many times has ECOWAS come to your aid? How many times has AU come to your aid? When South Africa needed help, we helped them. Today is xenophobia.
Okay, so we still have these innocent children and some teachers in the custody of these terrorists. And earlier, Abimbola did say that Governor Seyi Makinde granted an interview wherein he said that he's willing to negotiate to rescue these people. Would that be the right approach at this moment? Or what strategy do you think government should use to ensure that these people are rescued alive?
You're asking me of solutions. As part of solutions, there's the non-kinetic approach. There's also the kinetic approach. This has been the two major military approaches that you could use at times like this. Some government officials have said they want the kinetic approach adopted. There was riot somewhere in Umoru yesterday, and the essence was for what has happened. The essence of slaughtering that man, I guess, was perhaps to push more fear into us, was to increase the non-kinetic approach. People looking for money to rescue their people. These people, these terrorists or bandits or whatever you call them, they have different departments and they have a way of pushing communications to us. That is done by, they were doing that and somebody was recording. Eventually it was sent so that everybody will see it. And then people will make more efforts, strategic efforts at raising money, give to them, and then they allow these people go. Allow these people go. Allow these people go. Right now, I know the government is working out things, probably to help them rescue these persons. But what I will not be able to tell, because I'm not in government, is what the government is doing. But if you, like you have asked me, sometimes when I talk about the non-kinetic approach, some people will say why. And then the question I ask them, I say, God forbid, let your mother or father be kidnapped, or your daughter be kidnapped, and then tell me whether you will be able to sleep. If you are able to sleep, then you are not a human. So whatever it will take to help get back those children, I can imagine some parents could die. I remember what happened once upon a time up north, northwest, when children were kidnapped. The first set under Jonathan's administration. Today, most parents died
from that
incident. And we're talking about, I really don't know. But I think if you ask me, the solution should be on people who will be able to remove the small arms and light weapons and drugs. Some of the persons who are carrying out those operations are not doing it willy-nilly. They are doing it under the influence of drugs. Some of them are drugged and then they are handed over the equipment. You go to that place and they are given a certain instruction. And that's the only thing they will know until the...
And so the effect of the drug is over. Hi, Chief. Let me ask you this before we wrap up the conversation today. Earlier this week, I think it was on Sunday, that we also heard Sheikh Gumi, say things like, the bandits would continue to do this because they were low on cash and they were low on some of the things that you've mentioned. And so when things like this also go into circulation and people hear these things, doesn't it also look like such comments will embolden these individuals to continue to cause mayhem in exchange for ransom, in exchange for things that we can't begin to talk about? How do we get over such comments at such a particular point in time?
Gumi was once a soldier before he became a civilian. And the government of today needs to do something very strategic with him. And that is to call him and perhaps have a discussion with him so that he will be conscious about those words he uses that goes to the public. The media is always looking for words from him. People would interview him, and in response to certain questions, he will say some of the things he's saying. But I think he's not guarded, and nobody is really ready to see how to put him in checks. We need to be proactive. We need to be proactive. Aside from checkmating what he says, which is very important both to the bandits, terrorists, or individuals, he needs to be sure of what comes out of his mouth, because he has become an authority. An authority in the sense that he knows some of these bandits, or all of them. And sometimes he has a way of speaking which looks like he has the feeling of the terrorists and bandits, and will always say this is the solution to all of that. But I think for what we need, the bandits and terrorists should be starved of certain things that will help them hand over what they are doing. If they don't have cash, if they don't have equipment, if they don't have drugs, they will leave the business. The business is enriching them, is fueling them, and so they are expanding, they are moving to places where they can even get more money. But what I do not understand is what the Central Bank of Nigeria is doing. Is the Central Bank of Nigeria really working towards tracing cash to some persons? Whether the answer is yes or no, I leave that to Nigeria to determine. But as I speak with you now, in some countries, when you give monies to criminals, they are recorded. And those monies are traced to people. If it's the last man that got it, whether you bought bean cake or akara from that woman, and that number shows, that woman will tell who came to buy that akara from her. That person will tell how that money got to him. And from there, gradually, you can begin to think of what to do. This government has tried in most of the things they needed to do to ensure that terrorism is either reduced or brought to a halt. But has the government really gotten support from those who are supposed to help them in bringing this menace to a final halt? Now you and I are here on television in Lagos, and talking about all this because we have some measure of peace of mind. That has to also do with what the government of Lagos State has done. The architecture they have been able to key in terms of security, has also helped you and I. But we are beginning to see that gradually these persons, if a brutal action is not taken, are moving to the southwest completely.
Right.
They have been to Ogun State. They have been to Oyo State. They have been in Ondo State. I do not know so much of Osun State, but which means that the security architecture in Lagos State must be up and doing. Lagos State is within the zonal security architecture formed by the governors. They are Motekun. Motekun, Oyo, I don't know how much of them are in Oyo State. Kwara State, from North Central, we have seen the presence of the bandits so much. And then Niger and Kwara are in the North Central. They have not been able to conquer what happens in Kwara State. Niger State, they have not been able to conquer it. There's a big desert between Niger State and Kwara State. There's a link between Niger State and the southwest. Are these places being policed and monitored? The Nigerian military that you talked about earlier, do we have enough men to tackle all of these persons? What is the number of men in the Nigerian military? All of them put together. Right. The Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Army, and the Nigerian Navy. The Navy is securing the waters.
Waterways.
The Army is meant to secure the land. The Air Force is meant to secure the air. What is the relationship between the Air Force and the Navy? What is the relationship between the Air Force and the Army? I'll leave it at that point.
Okay, finally, I know you've talked about Lagos State, but as the Southwest, what sustained efforts should the governors be talking about as we speak?
The governors in the Southwest on a monthly basis receive a certain amount of money that is not accounted for.
Yes, security votes.
Is that what you call it?
That's what they call it.
Okay. The security vote, fine. Now, if the security votes by the 6 governors could come together to help secure or to help the security architecture of Nigeria, we will get more results. It comes on a monthly basis to all the governors, the 6 governors. If you put that money together, month A, month B, month C, if they come together to tell themselves that what they get on every month should go to a particular account.
Like the northern governors are planning to do?
Yes. But even the northern governors, are they serious about it? It's not about what you save with your mouth that you want to do. It's about the effect of what you have done on the people themselves. That is what we want to see. I have suddenly observed that certain security service in Nigeria are having restless nights because most people remember them at times like this to say, what have they done? That was why I talked about what we have been experiencing. Look at the media. Look at the media, what we have experienced in the Southwest and some other parts, specifically in terms of seizure of drugs, seizure of small arms and light weapons, and the seizure, even mercury, about 4 cans, very huge cans of mercury. You know what mercury would do? Differently. They were not seized at the border. The CG ensured that beyond the border, what happens in the border, he still has a body of the customs that will still go around the entire Southwest. Right. Look at what is even happening inside town and trace all of this. If the other services
can also replicate that,
can do all of this also, if the governors would agree with me this morning to say whatever we get from security votes on monthly basis, let us put it together zonally and then deploy sincerely those funds and then write to the government what they want. The issue of the state police, what has happened to it? I came here the last time and told you that what we need right now is not basically the state police. Those of them you call the state police will come. The federal police, what has happened to them? Have they really been taken care of successfully?
All right, would leave this conversation here this morning. We do hope that the right authorities whom High Chief have spoken to this morning will take action and ensure that, of course, there is security of lives and property, not only in southwest Nigeria, but across the country. Thank you so much, High Chief Darlington Umoru, for finding time to be with us on the program today.
A pleasure of being here, but I'm not happy talking about seeing what we are seeing at the moment.
I'm sure everybody is really not happy about it.
I just hope that someday the two of you would be able to go with me to
where?
Northwest or Northeast, so that some of these things, it's not enough calling me to come talk here. You need to see yourself.
Okay.
And then see what happens. And then you come back here.
And
no, I'm exempting you. I'm exempting you.
You can do some recordings. You can do some recordings, then we'll see it on your phone.
Or you can give me your phone. Let me go with them.
Thank you so much again, High Chief. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Joy will be here with her Lagos conversation.